time, your gateway to the world. A-F-R. American Freedom Radio. Give it to them.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and happy Thursday. It is December 5, 2013. Hope you all are having a beautiful and warm day. Not so warm here, but it certainly is beautiful. Branson is, we do know ice storms very well. Real snow, not so often, but I just love watching those beautiful little flakies fly down from the sky. So peaceful and so quiet. Woohoo! But we're going to break that silence here tonight. Welcome and thank you for joining us here tonight. Soul Journeys Radio on AmericanFreedomRadio.com. It is Thursday, so we are joined by Saint Toby-Wan Kenobi, or a.k.a. Tobias Lars. He is the author of Listening to the Sun and Awakening Souls, as well as a personal awakening coach and the creator of CourseOfAwakening.com. He does teleseminars every Sunday, so you can join him at a very affordable rate. He's also the creator of Inner Body Awakening, one of my favorite, I guess you can call it spiritual practice. Form of just awakening and feeling that energy body that we sometimes forget about. I know I sure do. But yeah, tonight we are going to continue part 2 of our topic about sexual awakening. Is sexual awakening awareness essential for spiritual awakening? How has sexual trauma suppressed humans on Earth? And how can we heal sexual trauma and suppression, healing from shame, judgment, fears, guilt, and abuse? And what would a healthy, sexually healthy, empowered human look like? Not last week, that was Thanksgiving. But part 1, the week before, we started this discussion as well as talking about some of the issues brought up in the movie Bliss. There are some links on the write-up if you want to check it out and watch it for yourself. Of course, you can Google Bliss. I think it's a very, very powerful movie. Tackles many of the issues that we like to discuss here. So, woohoo! If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to give us a call tonight at 218-339-8525. That's 218-339-8525. And if you'd like to join us in the text chat, that's over at souljourneysradio.com. But it's so good to have you here tonight, Tobias. How are you doing?
You're going to hear some howling in the background.
I like it when you howl at me, baby.
I'm just walking in the door. I got dogs jumping on me. I was just making a house call today in Miami.
Nice.
And I'm going to let the dogs out in the backyard and hope that there's not so much irrigation that they'll bring all the water in here. So
you can wag the dog and do house calls and howl. I like it.
And here comes Gabby, the little girl.
Hi, Gabby, sweet little angel face.
She had to be cooped up for literally like 6.5 hours today.
Aww. Hello,
no
princess.
No pee-pees. By the way, I know you do urine therapy, so Daddy right now, here's another book. I'm walking in the water. It is definitely wet back here. So I'm going to do my urine therapy.
Nice. All right. So you drink your dog's pee, too?
No, I'm going to just water my own plants here at the moment, if you guys don't mind. I've been on the road.
Oh, man.
It's one of those things, you know. We get irrigation, which we're really grateful for, but it got really cold, as, you know, it's happening, like you were saying, at the big chunk of the country. It's getting very cold.
Yeah.
So we don't need as much water right now, and I had to go do a house call in Miami, Arizona. There is such a place, not Miami, Florida, which I loved. It was so beautiful driving and all that. But I couldn't reach the irrigator in time. So now the dogs are going to be out here in the water, but that's how it goes.
All right.
Anyway, and so I was trying to get back here in time, obviously, to get on the show. But traffic. You forget how rush hour still exists. At least I do, since I don't usually participate in it.
Yeah.
But driving through Metro Phoenix, coming up from the southeastern place, Globe, Miami. It's an old mining town. It's very beautiful. The mountains are amazing. There's still some beautiful yellow cottonwood trees, but I ran into traffic, and I have to confess to Mr. Officer, that I did drive in the HOV two-people lane, even though I shouldn't, even to make it back. So I'm doing my confessions here.
All right. Well, they can't probably can't come over you or come after you retroactively. So
I hope not.
I'm sure it feels good to confess, though, right?
Yeah. Okay. Listen, you guys.
Speeded.
You got to stay out here. No, I think it's a huge fine nowadays for riding in the HOV lane without two people.
Everything is a fine. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you made it back because lots of people have been looking forward to this show tonight. So thank you for speeding and riding in the HOV lane just for us.
Well, I'm sorry for having to tell you all that, but I was literally, as you were doing the intro, I am arriving, opening the gate, taking in the garbage can, greeting dogs that are going to go ape monkey. So, anyway.
Well, Tobias, somebody's on the chat saying you should have used your blow-up doll. Silly. Did you forget your real girl, Lars?
I know, I did. Lars and the Real Girl. That's a good movie.
Yeah, you've talked about it a few times here. We listen.
Okay, all right.
Sometimes.
Yes, I thought about it. It's dark. It's Arizona. We all have tinted windows.
That would work.
I made a calculated decision that maybe it was beautiful. I missed like 3 miles of standstill traffic, and then you get a nice big truck and you can get right in front of them, and I got right off on the exit. So I was like, yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you made it, and you're helping the doggies with their urine therapy, just in time to help us with our sex therapy.
I was, God bless them. I hate to do that, but Joy's not around today, and so 6.5 hours for the little girl. Usually the dogs are okay, but I hate to have her. We still have to crate her because she's a free spirit, She'll eat everything and tear things up and test her metal on her teeth and all kinds of stuff. So, anyway. Yes, I'm semi-back. I'm back. And by the way, you can switch me over to Skype on the break. I'm in the house. So
okay. All right. Yeah. We will switch you over on the break.
Okay. So what's our topic? How to control a whole planet by deciding that one of our chakras is evil. Is that what we're doing today?
That sounds about right. Yeah, that's a good place to start.
How do you... My client today, I bet I can say this. She's not on the line, on the internet.
You're safe.
I love it, Lily. God bless her. Courageous enough to walk out finally after 22 years, of a situation where she's trying to rescue another soul, in this case the man. Sometimes it's switched the other way, the man rescuing the woman. And walked away. I could see her past incarnations. I've done a session with her before, but she's moved from a very busy city on the West Coast to a little town in Arizona, Globe, Miami, which is lost in space-time. It's like almost went total ghost town at one point, and it's very quiet, and, it's not rejuvenating itself so much. The mind died about, 30, 40, 50 years ago. So it's sort of a town lost in space-time. And the bravery of her of doing that, and now, of course, her sexual energy is reawakening. And so part of our session we did was about that. What do you do with it, you know, when you're reawakening like that? And your old pattern is that you immediately, you know, fall back into a entangled relationship with people. So how do we do this? Because the programming has been unearthed. If we're going to have coitus, then we need to sign papers, and we need, or at least, even if we don't do the marriage thing according to the state, at least the programming is, well, we should, you know, live together. We should, you know, there's all kinds of unspoken rules that kick into place, you know. And so I was, in my best spiritual form, encouraging her to find young men that she has no attachment to.
Well, we might have a few listeners in the chat that might volunteer, so feel free to call her at 876-5309. Pound 69.
But this is, it's so confusing for us. You know, here she, and this is happening to lots of women, and men are having, it's a little different. It seems the feminine is going to get a little freer around sexuality here, and men are going to open their hearts around sexuality more, and some balancing around it. But, yeah. I mean, literally, what do you do? And here she's presenting the case of, I have two men, you know, I could see them in another life. This is all brand new for her. I don't even know what's going on, Tobias. What am I seeing? I saw them like in a King Arthur time, and one of them killed the other, and I'm going, yeah, that's accurate, because we're looking at that past life. And now they're all three back together. So you cannot outrun your own shadow. You cannot outrun your own karma, your own soulmates that you need to work things out with. You can't outrun them. So there she is in this little, you know, practically. By the way, there's a movie with Sean Penn, Billy Bob Thornton, and Mick Nolte called U-Turn. That movie is set in Globe, Miami, where I was today, okay? The reason they chose that town is because that's exactly what it feels like. The way it's portrayed in that movie, it's sweet, but it's kind of, again, like a Stephen King Twilight Zone episode kind of thing, you know? But anyway, so even in this lost town, she can't outrun her former soulmates that killed each other, or tried to. One killed the other over battling for her. You can't outrun it, folks. You can't do it. Here she is. God, could you get any more lost in space-time than this little town? No. And there they both are. Both. And she's attracted and meets them instantly both, and she's attracted again to both of them. Replay, replay, replay down through the lifetimes. And so the temptation was to fall into, and immediately one of the men says, oh, come on, here's my key to the house, you know, move in with me, and this is the thing. Then it's back to the pattern, the dysfunctional pattern. Now, I don't want to give, you know, so without facing this stuff, the temptations are there. Or many women that, quote, fit the beauty bill in our current society, or down through the last few thousand years, it's been very easy for you guys to fall back into being a kept woman, you know. I was watching on YouTube today something about the Russian billionaire. There's these guys called Vice. They do movies on YouTube, Vice. And the guy was a Russian billionaire because when the Russian Federation broke apart, the USSR broke apart, it depended on who you knew, and so he inherited, or, you know, got all the land by title. And he's got the 26-year-old former Miss World, who is now his wife. Now, I'm just saying, if he wasn't the billionaire, he wouldn't be with her. Let's just be real. It just wouldn't happen. And she wouldn't be with him, and he wouldn't be with her. So there's a real temptation for these old patterns of just sort of sliding into them because we're not choosing. We're not standing up for what we really want, what we really need. And this is going to be with the sexual patterns, too. It's sort of like lazy incarnations, you know? Watch out for the lazy incarnation where you just surrender to, oh, it's easy to marry this guy, or he's after me, or whatever. Or the man, you know, he settles into the pattern of, I got to chase her and this, that, and the other. So all these patterns, for those that are wanting real awakening, and there's millions of us now on the planet, these patterns are being shook up, all shook up. Elvis started it. The pelvis of Elvis started it. He's shaking all that stuff up. So often I'll feel, when we feel what will help that pattern. So my client today really got that. I loved the feel. It was a field trip for me. She was going to drive into town. And I said, no, let me drive out there, you know. And because it's just a beautiful drive through the mountains, so it was really kind of fun. But so for her to fall back into that pattern will be the temptation, literally to repeat history with the same souls.
Yeah.
Now, we do this individually. In this case, you know, that's her individual souls. But we also do it collectively, which is another story. You know, we're literally reincarnating whole civilizations. I mean, the United States is the Roman Empire. It's just obvious.
I agree with that. Okay, hang on, everyone. We will be back after this short break. Stay tuned. Tobias Lars here on SoulJourneysRadio.com.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
You're listening to AmericanFreedomRadio.com, the network who perseveres in delivering intelligent debate, constructive dialogue with true independence. The freedom to broadcast the truth is not free at all. So what is American Freedom Radio worth to you? The empowering information with fun, honest and pure integrity behind it provides an example to follow. Friendships to flourish with the moral altruism that pulls no punches. The hosts sacrifice and show remarkable discipline in their duty to deliver quality radio and service to the community with strength, wisdom and loyalty. The founders of AFR wish to thank you personally for sharing your views and insights to make the best radio and alternative media. Now it's time for you to give something back and play a vital role in the future of America. Be as generous with us as we've been with you. Click on the donate banner at AmericanFreedomRadio.com or volunteer by emailing AmericanFreedomRadio@ymail.com. Vaccine, psychotropic drugs, and artillery batteries not included.
All right, that's what we're trying to do. Love one another right now. Welcome back. Soul Journeys Radio on AmericanFreedomRadio.com. Tobias Lars, our special guest. We are discussing sexual awakening and how we can heal sexual trauma, suppression, etc. And so true. What you shared with us last segment, Tobias, how it's so easy to fall back into that kept woman bull crap, you know, the settling, the false comfort zone, security, etc. In fact, there's someone in the chat sharing with us that she's in that exact situation right now.
Yeah. And not to shame ourselves because we end up in old patterns. It's just the first step is just to get conscious of, okay, I'm doing an old pattern. And that's totally understandable. The world is harsh, and dangerous. And, I mean, we're one step away from freaking anarchy all the time, which is basically rape, murder, kill in the streets, Mad Max.
Okay. Or at least the Republican version of anarchy.
But you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. That's the fear-mongering that we've gotten, And so forgive ourselves. So, okay, I've settled. It's actually okay to consciously say, given the current collective, I just watched somebody, a young woman, or, she has kids now who are in, like, middle school, and her kundalini, her life force, see, it's natural, rises up, and she's had a couple of affairs on the hard-working professional husband, blah, 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 and she loves her kids, and they're super bright, and what's wrong with me? Why can't I be happy with him? He's such a good man and a good provider, and he's just a nice guy, and I want to go out and, fuck other guys. What's wrong with me, right?
Yeah.
And so we have to get real with it. And now if you flip Jekyll and Hyde to the other side, it's divorce lawyer hitman time like we talked about. But the fact is the life force is no respecter of human ridiculously made-up rules, especially ones, by dead desert religions. By the way, I'm kind of had a full day of crap to deal with a little bit. And I feel a little overwhelmed, and that's when I tend to get a little more truthful, so I'm just saying. Which is good.
Yeah, definitely. We appreciate it.
So compassion for ourselves in those situations, but, it's inside us. It's in us. I want to have sex with other people is in the human being. And we've tried to put this Band-Aid on top of it of, till death do us part, swear this oath, and, people fainting at the altar because they know my life is over, And so we have to come up with a new model. We do. And it's not going to be easy because we have Pandora's box has been repressed in everybody. Everyone walking around on planet Earth right now, Pandora's box is placed exactly, which is this suppressed lust lock. If you look in the etheric fields of astrally on people, I'm petting my puppies because I had to be kind of firm with them to get stuff done here.
His puppy is firm.
Okay. Thank you, Beavis. Thank you very much.
Has anybody figured out he uses these are code words, guys, okay? He really doesn't have any doggies or puppies. Socially acceptable masturbation on the air.
I give up. I give in. I give out. I give it up.
Nice. All right.
So encouraging, we at least need to start getting a little bit real about it. Like in that movie, Bliss, it's shocking as hell to everybody when it gets real. But the other alternative is that we continue in this dead society we have. Driving by today in Miami, Arizona, there was the Presbyterian Church, this is in the dead part of downtown. It's just a strip where everything's, it's closed, these for lease. No one's ever going to rent this place, There's the Presbyterian Church, the biggest sort of building along downtown Main Street there. And right next to it is like Martin's mortuary service, right? Okay? Literally, no, they're attached walls. They're not even separate buildings. Mm-hmm. And I just go, my God, this model we've been trying to do is death. It's total death. The Presbyterian Church, you program them, or this is what I heard in my head, someone saying to the church, you kill them, we'll bury them.
Wow.
You kill them, we'll bury them. You just walk next door. It's all done. It's all one-stop shopping. Kill the soul, bury the soul. Kill the soul, bury the soul.
Yeah.
Please don't be offended if you're a Presbyterian and your mother is the sweetest thing and she's really devoted to the church. No, really, because we're well-intentioned. Most of that is so well-intentioned, and it's not all bad. It's just that at this time on Earth and entering into the Aquarian Age, it's like we were ram horns, Moses' time. We're the age of the ram, let's sacrifice rams and bullhead ourselves through things. Then it changes to Pisces. At least there's a fish. Well, now guess what? The fish is melting into the ocean. Your boundaries of actually having a body and having rules and having these strict individual ego identities, the fish is dissolving his body, her body, into the ocean of Aquarius, of aqua, water. So that's what's coming. You can't fight it. This is why all the old structures are going to die. And of course, all the programming around sexuality is also going to be in for massive upheaval. I recently had a 70-ish, little older than 70 client who I was counseling her. And I don't do this to everybody. Most of the, I would say 20%. Open up to a whole new form of sexuality and let your man talk dirty to you. For 70-year-old.
You baby.
I was like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. You are so brave. You're so sweet. She's beautiful. She's blossoming. She's just this beautiful. Her energy is eternal. When she opens up, she goes, this is going to be scary to me, Tobias. And she's a psychic herself, and she works with people and stuff. But see, the programming that we come out of is so strong because it is literally we are bathed amniotic fluid in our mother's womb, in our mother's programming, in her cellular programming. This is why the imprinting, goes from parent to child. It's just imprinted in the cells. So the task here is for us to undo this imprinting that we're not even conscious of. And so for someone like that, the imprinting is, of course, a girl could never do that. I grew up, in the 40s and 50s or whatever, or in the 50s and 60s, and like sock hops and bobby skirts and whatever they did, American Graffiti time. So that programming is very deep. So I love how brave people are because you are literally facing your own shadow, your own fears, your own stuff to go, I know this is not true, but my old patterns just want to pull me back down into the old way I've done relationships. Now, you're not all alone on this. It feels like a lonely road at times. This person I was working with today, she's created a beautiful little apartment that looks out over the mountains, and just, she's literally gotten rid of her TV, completely quit eating meat, no internet, like literally just has a phone. She's living like a monk in a sense, and yet as far as, and in the quietest town you could imagine, it's just desert town. Desert towns are even quieter than towns full of oak trees and stuff because all those plants are kind of singing in the ethers, But desert places are very quiet. So she's gone from L.A., running a business in L.A., with her husband and then getting divorced, to living to that. That is huge acceleration and awakening. And as this awakening comes, as it enters you, as it wants to play with you, love you, of course she's going to be like, she literally just said it today. She said, I just want to have sex. And I'm like, this is wonderful, Now I don't have sex with clients unless God really tells me to, but that happens very seldom.
All right. Where can I sign up?
Oh, no. See, no, I should have just said it. See,
your phone's going to be ringing off the hook after that one, Tobias. There's a lot of us that don't even know what we're talking about tonight. We completely forgot what sex is.
Yeah, we do. And I could have done you have to have rules, which is basically, if you work with people spiritually. But see, I'm not a psychiatrist, psychologist. I got no frickin' anybody telling me what to do, except my own soul and my own heart and God and their soul. Now, so I could have said the politically spiritual correct thing. I would never forever. That's a hard and fast rule. But that's not how the universe works. See, this is truth-telling. This is truth-telling at the where psychologists, where it breaks down. It's like massage therapists. We will touch every part of your body except the most sensitive areas. Mm. We will take 10 hours of classes at massage school on how to learn to fold the limbs appropriately to expose the side of your thigh all the way up, but it covers all the genitals without actually touching them and your ass crack. It's
okay, so just one question, Tobias. Who pays who in your sexual healing sessions?
Exactly. See, this is totally wrong. All of this is wrong.
I'm just wondering. Okay.
I joked about. No, that's. I think that's only happened twice in like 15 years. But generally, it's not a good idea at all. People are, they need to be. It becomes personal at that point. It's not like in that movie. Although that was intriguing in the Bliss movie.
Tobias Baltazar.
I had to say I really liked that guy. I go, man, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
See, even joking about
career
this
path for both of us.
Yeah, there you go. Even joking about this is the final taboos we're talking about here. It really is. The final taboos are sex and God mixing back together. Mm-hmm. And this is Pandora's box. This is why we've been enslaved as societies and civilizations. This is why we've been so controllable, because we have separated the original sin, if there is such a thing, but there is. Once you think something is real, it becomes real. We are the creators of reality. So once you create the concept of original sin and pound it into millions of people, by putting them through the Presbyterian, et cetera, church.
You might have to pound it out, huh?
Mm-hmm. It's so terrifying. It's so terrifying. It is so confrontive. But this is where we're going. You don't need to be a prophet to realize that in the next decades and the next 2-3 generations for humans, every old idea of how money is going to work, how property and ownership is going to work, how union and child rear, I don't even want to call it marriage anymore. Marriage is like a toxic term at this point. How to allow for children and other spirits to be born and in a supportive environment, and how to have relationships with each other. All this is going to be completely rewritten. Take the rule book, throw it out the window. It is a goner. It is over. It is done. We've been living in martial law. We've been living in martial law with all that. We've had judges and guns pointed at our head when it comes to our sex and marriage lives and children. It is insane. It is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
It's been living under a dictatorship martial law. Now, once the war is over, you can't keep martial law, like I said before. You need to go back to natural law. Natural law is natural energy. Nature heals automatically. I take people out into Sedona, and I just take them up on Airport Vortex and go, at that point, they just lay down on their back or their stomach, or it's like I'm having them cooked. After a while on their back, I flip them over on their stomach, and I'm just letting nature cook them. Just cook them. Just get some of these toxic energies out of them. The red rocks are so loving. Mother Nature is so loving. Just suck some of that crap out of people, They feel dizzy. They start spinning out of their head, But this is what it takes. This is what we're going to do. We're going to detox ourselves. And sexuality, of course. So I'm encouraging my client today. I go, yes, those two guys, your two soulmates, the old ones, they're still caught in it. They're drinking, they're sedating themselves. And so you're the one who would be in charge of that. And I wouldn't recommend it because of your danger of slipping back into it. And I gently tried to get her to consider to be with completely new types of lovers.
Woohoo, I'm sensing a cougar in the making. It is that time, everyone. Hang on. We will be right back. Tobias Lars on Soul Journeys Radio.
Not a soldier.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
Yo, what's up? Check this out.
The voice of the revolution. American Freedom Radio. American Freedom Radio.
All right, welcome back, and thanks again for joining us here tonight with Tobias Lars here on souljourneysradio.com. Sexual awakening is the topic tonight, and I know you're treading some sacred ground here. And this whole sexual suppression thing, what I found the most is that most people don't even realize that it exists at all. You know, or at least within them.
The sexual suppression?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how denied it is. Yeah.
That's bad. That's vile. That's coarse. Why are you talking about that? Come on, just, get back to work. Don't we have more important things to talk about?
Right. Yeah, we have more important things to talk about than babies. And God. We have more important things like what? Like the budget, like the banksters, like, evil.
The ones that profit off of your sexual suppression, by the way.
Yeah. I can't think of a more important topic than love, babies, and God. And that's what we're talking about. Because love, babies, and God all come from sex.
It's true.
Uh-oh.
Ouch. That's so dirty. Why are you thinking that way?
Did Jesus have a penis?
I wish you were on the streets with me when I ask the church people that. Oh, my gosh.
I know. And we want to be loving and careful and sweet. And now we're being provocative with that. But you can be provocative in a loving way, and you can be provocative in a hateful way. And I want to be provocative the way God is. God does not tell everything at once because we can't handle it. Jack Nicholson's got it true, right? You can't handle the truth. We can't. Let's just be honest. We can't. We can barely handle new information. We can barely handle new information. How can we handle the truth? We can't. We can handle gradual truth, very gradual, and most of us are like pinball machines. We will tilt and just freeze up.
Mm-hmm.
And so a topic...
And then attack the messenger, of course.
Yes. That's the reflexive, reactive reaction. So, let's kill Jesus. That's a good idea. Let's do that. Brilliant idea, whoever came up with let's kill Jesus, which wasn't the Romans, of course, but the Sanhedrin, the religious people are the ones that came up with the idea to kill Jesus and Buddha and everybody else that tries to do something. It is the religious people, the fanatics, the dogmatists, the people whose minds are like concrete, all mixed up and permanently set, who are on some, like Mark Twain says, God save us from idealists, from people with crusades to do, It gets very sad because we kill each other, maim each other, shame each other for belief systems. I mean, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. It's getting a lot better, which is good. So sexuality, of course, is a central core force. And I told my client today, I can say this because she's not on the internet. She'll know.
Not
you
yet.
guys don't know who she is, so it's fine. You know,
Yeah,
I don't feel
Maria,
bad.
oh, never mind.
No. But actually, it's very sweet, but it's very scary. Imagine Jesus appearing in hell at the orgy. Imagine Jesus making an appearance. I have a poem or a verse about this when I was writing my dark verse in Shackled Gods, or my honest feelings of when I was healing all this stuff in me. And I'm not completely healed. I'm an uptight, prudish, controlling, little evil, freaking maniacal monster at times. You know? Of course.
You said it. I'm not arguing with you. Nope. Not one bit.
You know, when you describe yourself as an egomaniacal control freak, you know, narcissist, spiritually bipolar personality, and you look around the room at your friends and none of them are saying no.
Send signs you just might be an egomaniacal control freak.
They stop breathing and their eyes get big for a second. Yeah.
They start clapping. Welcome, Tobias.
Welcome to the group, Tobias.
My name is Tobias.
Hi, my name's Tobias. I'm whatever you guys said. Yeah, I'm that. See, now feel that, guys. If we can own our crap, it can be less painful. Less painful.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to be painless, but it will definitely be less painful if you can go, I have crap. I have sexual dysfunction. I have control freak issues. I am scared beepless of love. I am afraid of intimacy. I have trauma in my arse. You know, yes, right. I am an
You're doing good, Tobias. Good job. Keep it up.
I am an arsehole full of traumatic karma. My arsehole is full of drama, trauma, and karma. Now that's progress right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it can be very loving and relatively painless to undo it. But since we are the creators, deciders of when and if we're going to let God back in, let love back in, you know, we can make it really painful and we can drag it out for a long time. Most of the lives, when I'm driving down the street, you know, or when I went to, where was I going? Oh, I went to Walmart. I went to Walmart to
check out what all the cool people were wearing.
To check out the bitch. To check out the bitches. Oh, I can't believe I said that. To check out next year's wardrobe styles. Now, see, that's mean. That's mean, but it's funny. Come on. It's funny. So anyway, I was just feeling everybody's... No, I was watching that video of the stampede on Black Friday. That's what I was doing.
Oh, my gosh. That was pathetic. Wow.
I couldn't figure out why I would have been at Walmart.
Was that really real?
Yeah. That was real footage. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Stampede, Black Friday, you know, and just feeling that. Now, you can go into real judgment of oh, my God, these people are animal morons. Or you can go into huge sadness. We're doomed. There's no way this planet can wake up. And we can do what God did, 12,500 years ago, or what we did to ourselves, which is let's just wipe the whole place out and start over again. But compassion here, there for the grace of God go I. That is me. That is me. I remember one time I told one of my spiritual teachers something. I was describing some other people, and I said, well, they're kind of white trash.
That sounds mighty judgmental of you.
I know, but I was trying just to be descriptive. Without the judgment. But then my spiritual teacher very pointedly, not harshly, but made the point, he said, Tobias, you're white trash. And I got it, the way he delivered it to me. I go, yeah, no, and I didn't just agree; I had to feel it, So we are all we see around us is part of us. If you're going to go for oneness, you got to own it. You got to own it. If you want to feel part of the human solution and not part of the human division, dividing each other, feel the love. So that. You're starting to feel the love when you start feeling crying and sadness, and then that's moving towards love. Hatred and judgment is ego and fear, So, yeah, that's a boner killer right there. Going to Walmart, no.
Ouch!
Ouch!
All right.
Yeah, I know. So we have a lot of healing to do, Lucy. Yes, we do. And with my client today, I was saying, well, in the meantime, you self-pleasure. And her look on her face was priceless. She goes, I am so sick of that.
All right. Well, at least she's doing it. Yeah.
She's like, I'm so tired of that. I just want to be touched,
Yeah.
And I'm going like I got one eye on the door, No, I'm just kidding. So, love for ourselves. This is a big healing to do. So first we have to come out of if we don't come out of the denial, then we will just live and die in our programs. And most people alive today in their bodies, in human bodies today, will live and die in their programs. Those of you who are waking up, wanting to wake up, just realize that was you 4 lifetimes ago or 1 lifetime ago. And there, for the grace of God, go I. No judgment. I understand. It's painful to wake up. It is. Waking up is hard to do. Nice song by Paul Anka.
Absolutely. It is that time again, though. So hang on, everyone. We will be back at the top of the second hour here. SoulJourneysRadio.com.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
No rules. No rules. No taboo topics. No taboo topics. No fear of doom. No fear of doom. We are American Freedom Radio. American Freedom Radio.
All right, welcome back. Top of the second hour here tonight. Soul Journeys Radio on AmericanFreedomRadio.com. Our special guest tonight, Tobias Lars. The question is, sexual awakening awareness, is it essential for spiritual awakening? How have we been suppressed? And most importantly, what can we do to heal it? And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to give us a call tonight at 218-339-8525. That's 218-339-8525. And if you'd like to join us on the text chat, that's never mind. Don't join us in the text chat. That's over at souljourneysradio.com. And Tobias, you were educating me on some very interesting sexual practices that, caused me to wonder, is it my judgments that say, ooh, gross? Or is it really ooh gross?
If we go here, we're gonna really push the boundaries. But
we're screwed.
So.
Good. I'd like.
But what happened was, in one way of reading the Akashic records that actually happened on Earth, See, there's many points of view. If you have the Egyptian Syrians, the people from the star system Sirius, Osiris, hello. They're going to give you one point of view, the Pleiadians, the Earth humans, Neanderthals. These are all very different experiences of Earth history. But in one of the Earth histories, there was a time when sexuality started mixing with animals, and there was a time when offspring would come from the union of human bodies and animal bodies. If you look on the Egyptian drawings and the falcon-headed gods, jackal-headed gods, crocodile-headed gods, birdmen, mermen, mermaids, Sekhmet, the lioness goddess, etc. Horus himself is the falcon-headed god. There's been a mixture. There are times on Earth when this happened. And you could say that God's source, the higher management team of the planet, stepped in at a certain point in Atlantis and said, no, we're going to make all unions that try to happen that way, you guys will not be able to produce offspring. Then in my world, that's true that did happen, that the management team, God, if you will, source, our own higher selves, stepped in and said, you're getting caught in falling in sexuality. You're getting so fixated on it that you are creating these manitors, these half-human, half-animal hybrids that are stuck in that. Because of the cerebrospinal centers, a dog body cannot attain certain cosmic awarenesses the way a human body can. They can attain ultimate dogness, but they can't. So if you trap certain souls inside, satyrs and fawns and this and that, nothing wrong with that if that's what you're exploring. There's nothing wrong with it. Many souls on Earth right now have had lifetimes where they were actually these alternate forms. So you get leftovers from this of people that are totally into attractive, they dress up as animals and have sex with each other. Because these are remnants in the collective consciousness floating around. And, of course, it still goes on as well. There's villages in Colombia outside of Cartagena, up in about a half hour, outside 35 or a half hour outside of Cartagena, where it's considered normal. Now I'm going to shock stuff, for young boys as they enter puberty to have sex with donkeys. It's considered normal. Right. And that's really far out. There's a bunch of people on YouTube that make movies called Vice, V-I-C-E.
So maybe I've just been looking in the wrong places.
No.
Hey, I'm in the heartland here. Lots of farming going on. I've just been looking in the wrong stalls.
So this is a remnant that's in the wrong stalls. So it goes on, it goes on. It's there. It's a remnant in the human consciousness. We've been severely attached, hooked in, created, being separated from source by this, and so we've had to shut it up because the human Earth planet is a mixture of all types of DNA, reptilian DNA, bird DNA, mammal DNA, and we're actually creating a new human model on this planet and a few other planets in the galaxy. So sexuality has been a particularly contentious issue, and at times it's been severely shut down. It still is severely shut down. And then it's been overindulged in the sense when we overindulge in it without being in connection with our source, you can create strange realities. See, and this is then turned into shame about it. So it's a very tangled mess. Oh, what a tangled web we have weaved when it comes to sexuality, Yeah. So to try to heal this, sex therapists, they have names for it. Zoophilia and bestiality, and they make distinctions of it. And the secret, the fact that, people do it. And so not wanting to know about it is denial. Looking at things and healing it, looking at things and evolving those energies, that helps it. Denying it, arrested development, martial law, we will absolutely never talk about that again here in our family. That level of denial, we will never talk about what happened to the priests, that just not looking at it doesn't make it go away. That's like ostrich religions. Sticking your head in the sand does not make it go away. So we have to confront, look at, face it, feel it, free it, as I'm fond of saying. And you got
You
that.
dropped one of those F words there.
The fond, whatever. Fond is an F word. So bless us all. We're trying to heal this.
Yes.
And like we talked about last week, be open. One way you can the simplest way of doing it is to pray directly to Source, God, Source, your higher self, and say, I want healing on this. And very lovingly, the universe will conspire to bring healing to you from exactly where you're starting from. You're still going to be scared. I was. I still am. But as far as the sexual healing thing, it was very scary. Or, it's scary in the sense of unknown territory. We go into frozen deer in the headlights, sort of when we are confronted with things we don't know what to do with.
Yeah.
Or that we have severe judgments on. Like homosexuality. We're barely coming out of judging that as a collective,
Yeah.
Even though, if you actually research it, obviously it occurs a lot in the animal kingdom, a lot, It's not natural. Oh, okay, well, why does nature do it?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's unnatural.
Right.
Okay.
So coming to terms with all that is what we're doing. So one of the ways is to explore and actually ask the universe, okay, I want to heal this. And it's not right for everyone to heal this right now. Some people need to have sex locked away in a lockbox, like Al Gore. Okay? He's kind of that way, isn't he? Anyway, and that's not wrong. It's not wrong to be a bit prudish or, look, I'm not super open about it. In fact, there's times when you need to be that way. It is part of your soul's evolution. Many people feel, I used to be so open about it. Now I'm awakening spiritually and I can't find any partners to be with. This can happen. And, it's better not to get involved in old patterns. Sometimes to undo the old patterns of automatic unconscious sex, you need some time away from it so that you don't fall back into those patterns, like the woman I work with today. And so instead of judging ourselves, because it's very difficult to not fall right back into the way it used to be, and let's move in together, let's live together, and just for the sex, and nothing is ever resolved, and then you don't heal yourself because you're so focused on trying to fix the other person and so forth.
Yeah, taking off those energies and carrying it with you, unconscious sex.
So give ourselves leeway, give ourselves room. I'm needing healing on this, like everybody else. Like everybody else.
Hi, my name is Christie. I need healing on this.
Yes, exactly.
You're not even going to welcome me? Jeez.
I'm not a good 12-stepper, I guess.
We're learning. We're all learning.
Well,
at least welcome me before I sign up for one of those fantastic sessions.
Welcome.
Never
So
mind, no talking.
Note to self, Tobias, you're on planet Earth. You must remember some of the programming on the planet. Please recall that you're supposed to do. Okay.
At least call her by name.
That's funny. That's funny you bring that up. But because, oh my God, it's like I don't, I used to teach people how to remember, 20 people you just met, how to remember everybody's names. But once you kind of start feeling people's energies, you're not so concerned with names. And sometimes you'll start calling them by names from their other lifetimes. So that was going on for me today, too. I was like, I know that's not your name, but I want to call you this. Yeah. See, we're attached to name and place. We are not name and place. I am not my name and my place. That is a temporary piece of me. It is not who I am. Transpersonal sexuality, not taking sex personally. Now, what the hell does that mean, Tobias? Not taking your sexuality personally. Because then the ownership thing, the pressure for orgasm, the pressure to please, the fears all creep in there. But if you're actually having sex with the spirit of the person merging in a larger sense, you're not fixated on just personality and ego. And that's what we're learning, the difficult way, that when we are stuck in our heads and our egos, then sex gets really dysfunctional. Gets really dysfunctional. But if you let nature be part of it, like to get people back in touch with just natural lust. See, we have judged lust. We have judged lust as somehow wrong. What's wrong with lust? Lust is the movement of horniness, of turned-onness. That is the life force. That is the love force. That is God. God is lust, among other things. Not fallen, secretive, shady, shameful Jekyll and Hyde. I'll have sex with you, but in the daytime I'll lie to everyone about it. No, that's not.
Point fingers at other people.
Right.
Oh, can you believe she or he did that?
Right. That's not God lust, but lust was put there is the life force. Lust is what grows your plants. Lust is what makes everything grow and life itself. And we have judged lust, so now we need Viagra by the billions of pills or whatever.
When it rains in the spring, I visualize, when waters my little seedlings, I visualize that God's coming on them.
I love it.
I do. Is that bad?
It's wonderful. I do.
Germinate that seed, baby.
I love that. See, that's shocking to a lot of us still. Shows how far we have to go.
I wonder why they won't eat in my garden. Just keep it in the bush, covered up.
Yeah. I had an idea for creating a giant airship, like one of those Goodyear blimps, except in the shape of a giant pink cock, And on the side of it, I would fly it over the Super Bowl, and it would say, "God is coming" on the side of it.
Maybe I'll hang a bunch of just Chinese dildos that don't work on the edge of my garden. I'm trying to think of something to decorate that with.
It's your Hopi rain dance to try to get some more.
My Hopi rain dance.
See? Good use of voodoo technology. You do the, sympathetic magic by hanging the vibrators around your garden. Or the actual, don't get any ideas, ladies.
Yeah, Lorena Bobbitt, calm down.
Exactly. Now, we are...
He left me. Whack.
Ridiculous. That's what that is.
Oh, we're kind of ridiculous.
This is so wrong, what Christie and I are doing right now. The fact that we can't do this, or that it's not accepted, that Jesus had a penis, Jesus got hard-ons, Jesus had sex, Jesus came, Jesus made babies, Jesus made love, him and Mary Magdalene had awesome fucking sex. The fact that that's not allowed into the collective consciousness fully yet, it's starting to now, very rapidly, very encouraging, is showing how much we have to learn. Again, my client today, we went through all this stuff, and she said, I did that. Did Jesus have a penis? And just the shock of it, because she came up from the Catholic background, and here she is going through this starseed awakening. She's realizing, she's having visions of ETs and things. It's happening very rapidly for many, many people right now. But just to get at the cellular programming, sometimes we need a little soul shock, sex shock therapy. Just to trigger it. Now, if you do it with love, Christie and I are doing it with play and fun, it is even more powerful, The day will come, I saw if you and I ever do a show together. I saw you and I doing this today, Christie. Like if we're on the video, like we're appearing.
We can't
like
fuck on the video. Come on,
calm
down.
I know. That's three lifetimes from now. Maybe we'll be ready for it. But what we could do, I saw you pretending like to give me head, And then we come back from a break, and then your head pops up, and I thought that could be a funny intro coming back from the break, and vice versa. And then the next one, we do it like, I'm giving you head.
Nice.
Yeah.
Woohoo! I got to get out to Arizona and start working on those videos right away. Yep, even old ladies like me need some. Hang on, everyone. We're going to take a little break.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
Welcome to the world's meeting place. American
It's practically narcotic.
freedom
Oh, yes, I like very much.
radio.
You're an American institution.
American Freedom Radio.
All right, won't you tell me again tonight? Welcome back. And Tobias, I agree, bringing it out in the open, talking about it, I think is healing on a certain level. In fact, one of the first, probably the first times when we did a sex, love, relationship show or whatever 4 years ago, you asked that very question. Did Jesus have a cock? Did he have sex? Oh, you totally did. And I was like, I don't think I said that over the air, but I was definitely thinking about it. But it got me thinking, and it totally turned my paradigm around because previously I was like, I'm going to lead a sexless life because that's the only way to God. And I actually believed that some of the issues in my life were brought about because I gave in to, lustful temptations and had premarital sex. And so I was being punished. And, you really got me, thinking about it and kind of broke me out of my dateless shell. Thinking that I was doing the right thing with my sexual poverty. Not to say I'm not there again or anything, but I'm definitely, and again, you're not telling everyone go out and have unconscious sex or whatever, frivolous sex, just, whatever. That's not what this is about. There's definitely a difference between conscious sex and unconscious sex, and that's what we're talking about here tonight. So, I appreciate that you tell it like it is and put it out there because it has helped me, learn new things in my life. So thank you.
Oh, thanks for saying that.
Yeah, it's true. If only you knew what I was thinking our first few shows together. Oh my gosh. Like, who is this guy? How could he say that? I was like the guy in Logan's Run. Like, how could you even think that? And, obviously, I didn't judge you or beat you up or say, oh, my God, that's totally wrong. I thought about it, and I found out that everything I thought I knew or every belief that I held on to was what was, quote-unquote wrong. That is what was holding me back.
Yeah, and we need to approach this gently. And, again, like you said, it's not... I hear that, Christy, and I can remember a couple times where I could feel like you were, you were going into judgment mode, or reaction, which we all do when there's something new presented to us. It's shocking to us, and
what? Jesus had sex?
I know. I must have been one of those trips when I went to Mexico to have dental work done, and I got all kinds of good drugs. That must have been it.
Or that sexy pine cone in the rest area.
These are past shows we've done, folks.
Yes, our longtime listeners will not let us forget that. They've never looked at a pine tree the same. Pine nuts. Mm.
We found must have been a redwood. I don't know. We were on Mount Shasta, and this pine cones must have fallen early because they were like flesh. They were pink and white, and I was like, my God, this is so beautiful. And I don't know about the sexual part, but
Here he goes again.
Anyway, so I guess that's what you're referring to.
This is a sexual pine cone.
I take no responsibility for when I'm under the influence of God. It's all God's fault.
I blame God. Okay, so here we are. We're kind of getting it out in the open. And, I think that's healing in itself. I know people sometimes are going to want to just judge us initially, but again, not everybody wants to heal, as you mentioned. Not everybody will, but for those of us who are,
or not timely, or not ready, and I want to reiterate, like you said, this is not a license for licentiousness.
Yes,
this is not a license for let's get drunk and do bukkake orgies and film it. No, that's not what I'm talking about. It's because there is denial sex, there is disconnected sex, and that is what most churchism and religions, at the root of it, when we were out of control at times on this planet, which has happened, where we are not honoring, each other, we are fixated on image worship, and when you do that, you're feeding life force into image worship. You are creating a prison reality on this planet. So, it's not about that at all. And that's why many religions, and whether it's Buddhists or Mormons, have made very strong rules about sexuality to try to stop the bleeding, to stop the hemorrhaging of life force, which has literally happened. And you can misuse all this and go, you can be creepy tantra teacher and go, well, it's all love. This is the life force, and let's all open to each other. Why are you resistant, young Christie?
Yeah.
Why are you resisting it? It's all love. It's all safe here. I don't see any danger. So why don't you let Tony over here, lay back, lay down, and he's going to give you a sacred massage.
Oh, I've had that. I've literally had people, say almost that same thing.
So it can be misused.
Definitely.
So this is where you have to learn to discern, because it is the innocent heart. It is the innocent, when heart love is involved, the respect, or it doesn't have to be the way we've termed innocence, but there has to be, if you're doing you're doing sex in something you feel you shouldn't be doing and you don't like, you judge what you're doing, then you're putting judgment in with that energy. And if you then want to dump that energy on the other partner, you're doing black magic on each other. And so that's why there's been injunctions and prohibitions about no sex before marriage, because they were trying, let's honor the church part that's tried to do this, and it gets very confusing. The devil is in the details, and he loves to be there because he can really mess with your head. What they've tried to say, well, there needs to be love, let there be love and then sex. And that is what spiritual people have seen. They've seen the darkness being created on earth, or allowing in this sort of vampirous feeding energy on earth. And to hemorrhage that, to stop that hemorrhaging, they've said, no more sex for a while till we figure this out. And now it's time to reclaim holy sex. There was somebody posted on Course of Awakening on Facebook this thing about sexuality. I watched a part of it in the beginning, and I said, this looks pretty good. But as I got deeper into it, they had this idea that somehow orgasm is wrong. And this is part of the conflict. It is really... the deepest misunderstandings is that we've separated God, source, love, all that is, mother, father, source, our own higher selves, from sexuality. We need to reclaim the sex from the pornographers. Most of pornography, not all of it, there's beautiful, sweet, playful, fun, God stuff in the pornography world. But most of the time it is denial, reactionary, rebellious. Let's face it, I hate my daddy, so I'm going to, fuck a bunch of guys on camera and, get revenge out of. No different than the preacher's daughter. I watched one porn star. There was I've only watched one porn star my whole life. No, I'm kidding. Anyway.
Okay.
We were on Netflix. There was a couple of beautiful documentaries. One was called After Porn. What happens? They were interviewing ex-porn stars. It was kind of done pretty well, actually. But one of the girls, she was angry still, and and God bless us all for being that. I'm not judging her for it. But she said, well, I used to get letters from guys that used to write to me and say, the reason I like you is because I can tell it's real when you do it. You're not faking it. And then she looked in the camera and said, I was faking all of those. Yeah. And you could feel the hatred in her of how stupid men are and you idiots that you can fall for that crap. See? Now, if she's doing it in that spirit, then she's adding that. She's adding that to the collective soup. Now, one of the other guys on there, who I and another woman, she was like, well, it's something I went through. I love men, yes, I might have been overindulging some, but, I don't have any, I love those guys. They're good people. That's a whole different vibration. Feel the difference in vibration? Because it's our judgment of it. We decide good or evil. And sometimes that judgment, and often a lot of those judgments, drama, trauma, and karma, are buried in our subconscious. So it's not only about what you're presenting on the surface, it's about the energies lurking like wolves. I love wolfies, but, hiding in sheep's clothing, presentation faces, So we have to, it's a tricky minefield to walk through. So learning to discern, learning to reconnect to your solar plexus and your heart so that you can feel, I am attracted to this person, and it would be fun. Like, during my phase of kind of trying to learn this for myself, terrified, and excited, and finally I'm going to figure some of this out. I remember a partner I had. After we'd have sex, we would just go into this total laughter, cosmic laughter. Well, that's a sign of that you're probably not doing something wrong, if it goes into that. Now, if you skulk away and you're like, I never want to see you again, and you're disgusting to me now, then probably you weren't doing it in the right energetic way. So it's kind of the soil you plant your seed in, the way it's done, the way you feel afterwards is a good indicator often. Do I feel shameful? Do I feel this was wrong to do? Do I feel drained of energy? Then that means you need to invite God into that space, invite Source, your higher self, into that space, because that was a draining of the energy. Okay, so this whole idea in tantric cultures, especially in the Chinese Taoist teachings, of retaining your life force is from a limited energy perspective. But until you have contact with the life force, with God, until you and your father, you and your mother are one, until you have connected with that, you really shouldn't be out there draining your life force just for the temporary holding your breath and then coming. You are definitely draining and wasting some life force. If you can, like we talked about last week, allow that energy to fill you. You're not orgasm fixated so much. It's not all about the orgasm. It is more about sensing, feeling, moving, letting the energy do, inviting the larger part of your soul spirit into your cocks and pussies, into our genitals. Instead of keeping our spirit and God out of our genitals, ask God to come and be in our genitals. Because God sources everything anyway. We're all one, and it's all oneness. Well, guess what? Oneness includes your cocks and the other C word. They do. It does. You can't argue with that. You cannot argue with me about that. You can go into religious...
Try, just for fun.
You can go into religious programming freakout, or, that's you don't talk about that. Those are private parts, Tobias. It should be only talked about in private, which usually means we don't talk about it at all. You don't have to talk about it, but let's make it holy and sacred again. Of course it's sacred and holy. One of the most holy parts of our bodies is our genitals. It is where the life force still is able to erupt. It's the place where the fountain erupts, literally, for both men and women. It is a place where the life force manifests physically. That's holy. That's if you could make the argument, the case for that's the most holy place in the body, of course, because the life force is closest to the surface there. God is closest. It is the holies of holies. There's less of a veil between you.
The holiest hole there is.
See? I love it. The angels of language they've left so many clues for us to discover. That's why I heard years ago the angels started doing that with me, deconstructing the language like that. Yeah, it's the holies of holies. Of course it is. And those things which we have judged the hardest are going to be turning out to be our salvation. We've judged our emotions and we've judged our sexuality. Of course, those two things are going to be our absolute salvation. Feeling your emotion will get rid of cancer. Healing your sexuality will straighten your spine and fix almost anything. These are the fountains of youth, of life force, moving your emotions and feeling the fountain of fucking and coming and loving and laughing.
All right.
Yeah. So just getting that idea into us is the big step. Just a new idea. And then we have to actually actualize it, start to bring it into fruition and actualization and physicalize it. And that's going to take some work or some willingness to face the old programs and go, get thee away from me. Get thee behind me, Satan, those old programs. There's a twist for you.
Yeah.
Get thee behind me, Satan, all programs that say somehow there's something, God has issues with sexuality. That's satanic. That's denial. That's twisted, that God somehow has any issues at all with cocks and pussies, because he made them, and they made them one of their finest creations ever. Be honest.
Good timing. All right, hold that right there, Tobias. Everyone, we will be right back after this short break. Tobias Lars here on SoulJourneysRadio.com.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
News and information you can trust. This is American Freedom Radio. Freedom, American Freedom Radio. American Freedom Radio.
All right, welcome back. Last segment here tonight, Soul Journeys Radio on AmericanFreedomRadio.com with Tobias Lars. He is the author of Listening to the Sun and Awakening Souls. Sorry, I almost put that together. You can find it at his website, soulcounseling.com. He is a personal awakening coach, and if you can't see him in person, maybe at spiritualtravelers.com. You can join in on his teleseminars every Sunday. That's courseofawakening.com for more information. There's also a Facebook group as well. And man, I can't believe, look how fast time flies when you talk about sex.
Talk about anything real.
Yeah.
You know, when you feel anything real, when realness is happening, you start entering the timeless place. And in the timeless place, time seems to go faster. The more you merge and ascend, you start becoming all time. So, yeah, it makes total sense. But also you can actually consciously start playing with slowing it down a little bit or staying in a certain moment. You can actually do that.
Well, speaking of slowing it down, let's slow it down here a little bit because we only have like 9 real or physical minutes left. And let's talk about how we can heal some of the shame, judgment, trauma, fears, guilt, all of this fun stuff that we humans get to deal with here.
First step, like I said, is just the concept of somehow that God and sex go together. The only book I could ever find on that God loves sex, or it was a Christian woman somewhere in the Midwest who had this experience while making love to her husband that she started merging with the universe and loving God. And she tried to write a book about it, and it went nowhere, People just could not handle it. So the first step is, can you allow the concept of God, love, and sex, source, spirit, the masters are masters of all their chakras, that Mother Mary is awake sexually. See? The fact that we divided Mother into the whore and the Madonna is a big schizophrenic problem, So first step, can I ask the universe for, I want healing on this. I want evolving. I want to evolve on this issue for myself. I want to evolve on this. And then be open to what the universe brings you, someone that you may not expect that you'd be attracted to. Be willing to fail. Be willing to screw up. Be willing to feel stupid, look stupid, sound stupid. Be honest with it. Be willing to get angry. Oh, women don't want a sensitive guy. Get angry about that. Be willing to learn the energy game. Men aren't reliable. They're all cheats, blah, blah, blah. Get your emotions, get it moving, the energy in motion. Start healing this. Self-pleasure, masturbate if you're not doing it and you're repressing it. If you find your belief systems you have wrapped tightly around the idea of sexuality, start peeling that onion. Start peeling those layers. Or show me what's real here. Show me what's real here. Actual techniques is sort of at the end of it, on how to, your breathing. Keep your breathing open as much as possible. If you're holding your breath during orgasm, choking yourself off, auto asphyxiation stuff, which just means you holding your breath versus actually using implements to do it, it'll give you a high, but it's a false high, in my opinion. Nothing wrong with doing some things once in a while just to try it, but if that's the only pattern you're doing, not so good. Keep your breathing open. You're rebirthing yourself. During birth, the woman needs to keep her breathing open. So do you while you're doing this. Let your genital orgasm spread to the rest of the body. As you start coming, as you start having your orgasm, deep breath and pull it up past your heart. I let this spread to my fingertips. And why do your toes curl when you have a good calming orgasm? Because it's spreading out to your toes, okay? All right? So let it spread up as well and not just down into your legs. Let it spread upward to your fingertips, to the tip of your head, your crown chakra. Do it. So allow it to spread during the actual moment of orgasm. Merge, Try to merge into it. Talk to the universe at that point. If you have a problem with love, angels, God, and source, believe me, they've seen everything, a lot more than you've ever thought of creating. So if you have a problem with them seeing you come, that's a place to start reintegrating that sex is really a part of God, and sex is very natural.
Tobias, do you recommend sex toys made in China?
Not the latest experience from your report. No, I wouldn't. Good old American made, I guess.
That's right. Adam and Eve all the way.
I like. By the way, speaking of that, for men, putting anal stuff is really good. The more natural, the better, is my feeling. If you can get actual crystal or stone or even, glass, obviously solid glass, these objects are probably more natural conductors than actual plastic, wouldn't you say? Why should there be petroleum products up there? I'm just trying to send it out there to the universe. Somebody should come up with lines of toys like the Egyptians did that involve stone and crystals and all that kind of stuff, because it'll actually give you a lot. It's more natural. Just a thought, just a thought, just a thought. Yeah. So be patient with ourselves. Love ourselves. This is a big topic. This is the original sin. This is placing God outside of sex. Placing sex outside of source love, God, is the original sin. The separation of sexuality, which is the eruptive life force that actually creates the babies, can't argue with that, creates more energy. Placing that somehow outside of the favor of love, source, God, Father, Mother, all that is the original sin. That's the original mistake. That's the original schizophrenic created universe. But those tendencies that in our universe, you can call it the Luciferian rebellion if you believe in that, or just the ego mind, the transhumanist agenda, all that stuff, it wants to steal that life force and use it for its purposes. So if you want to become a wholly integrated person again, the sexuality will need to be integrated into a whole human, full spectrum human situation. Not a license for promiscuity, license for exploration, yes. Be honest with your heart and ask God to be present. Ask God to be your matchmaker. He's a lot better than the crazy lady on the Millionaire Matchmaker. I love her too. Let God be your matchmaker. Why not? Because God knows exactly what your Kundalini needs.
God's taking way too frickin' long. Fuck God. Seriously.
Well, maybe you're having some issues there. Evidenced by the F.U. God.
Tell me all about my issues, please.
Maybe you need to work out a little bit of anger issues with God, which is great. But then after that gets a little bit of traction, then you'll be able to accept his suggestions for actual partners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Be honest about that, what Christie's saying. Be honest about your rage and your anger, and I want to become a monk or a nun. F this, I'm never doing this again. This is stupid. This is horrible. Do you ever notice that? Like the girl who used to date Elvis, and she turns into a nun, Because sometimes we hit these schizophrenic Jekyll and Hyde places when we start opening. When we start opening to this stuff, this is why there's that game in a religious community of, I was a sinner and now I'm a total walk in the straight line, Because we flip rapidly between these multiple personality Jekyll and Hyde aspects of ourselves. The trick is to integrate those, to merge the positive and negative polarities, to create the fusion of the Kundalini of the life force instead of the repelling and getting scared from it. It is going to be scary at times. It's going to be discombobulated. It's going to be making you truly naked. Making you truly naked is the vulnerable. Become ye as little children. Become a little child. Become real. Become honest. And that, inside raucous, lustful God sex, that is the highway to enlightenment. But because it is one of the most powerful royal highways to awakening, it is also fraught with casualties and car wrecks on the side of the road. For sure. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me more about my issues.
That's all. I don't give a crap about all that. I just want to hear about myself.
Yep, that's right. It's all about me. We have like 45 seconds left, so this is your safe zone.
Forgiveness and love for, if you can give yourself space and go, okay, I've got stuff I'm healing. So what? This idea that we should be instantly healed because we read a book or we got the concept, that's not how it works, You can watch how to play basketball. That doesn't mean you know how to do it. You can read a book about it. It doesn't mean you know how to do it. So forgive ourselves, be patient with ourselves, give ourselves some leeway and some space while we're learning this. Love, love, love.
All right, very well said.
Love is the answer. See, he was right on track there, man. Yeah.
Yeah, baby. That's right. You are going to sing some a cappella for us at some point, right?
I'll sing with my guitar.
Baby. Yeah, I like that. All right, guys, I'm so sorry we are out of time here. I want to thank you all for joining us here tonight. Soul Journeys Radio with Tobias Lars. CourseOfAwakening.com is his website, or you can go to soulcounseling.com. But thank you for being here. Have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you next week, same time, same place. That's 7 to 9 p.m. Central here on AmericanFreedomRadio.com.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
Just look at us. Everything is backwards. Everything is upside down. Doctors destroy health, lawyers destroy justice, universities destroy knowledge, governments destroy freedom, the major media destroys information, and religions destroy spirituality. I think there's more to know here.
What you hear about in this country are differences. That's all the media and the politicians are ever talking about, the things that separate us, things that make us different from one another. That's the way the ruling class operates in any society. They try to divide the rest of the people. They keep the lower and the middle classes fighting with each other so that they, the rich, can run off with all the money. Fairly simple thing happens to work. If you know anything different, that's what they're going to talk about. Race, religion, ethnic and national background, jobs, income, education, social status, sexuality, anything they can do, keep us fighting with each other so that they can keep going to the bank.
You're listening to the future of talk. American Freedom Radio. This is American Freedom Radio.